Hello and welcome to a fresh episode of Wednesday Night Football right here on ASEN TV. My name is Tunde Koiki, your regular anchor. We apologize, we've not been available for a while. It's due to a few technical hitches, but we are back better and ready to bring you all the exciting football action from Nigeria here. My regular partner, Bimbo Bankole, is not around, but I have Emmanuel Odufejo with me in the studio as well. Thank you for joining us, Emmanuel.
Thank you, Tunde. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thankfully we're not rained out.
I wasn't.
Rains in Lagos have been absolutely incredible anyway. But thankfully we made it to the studio without the aid of...
I'm wondering if you've not been in the studio because of rain.
No. But in case you're wondering, we made it to the studio by driving, not by boat. Just to get that out there. So of course, you know that Wednesday Night Football is an interactive show. You can join in by sending us your tweets or anything you're thinking of by using any of our social media handles right there on the screen. We'd like to hear what you're thinking regarding anything football that has taken place in the world, Nigeria, over the past couple of days. Let's start with some interesting news right here from the domestic scene, Emmanuel. And the Super Eagles assistant manager, that's
Salisu
Yusuf, who also doubles as the manager, the substantive manager for the Nigeria's home-based national team, the Chan.
Yes.
Well, he recently released a 30-man list of players that will go into campaign ahead of the Chan qualifiers that come up next month in Nigeria to meet either the winner of either of the two-legged face-off between Togo and Benin Republic. And of course, you come up with a 30-man list, and a lot has been said about this list. So many people have had plenty to say about the list of 30 players that have been called into camp. So let's just really run through some of the players, some of the key players that you might know, the names you might know. There's Ikechukwu Ezenwa, who of FC Fanyumba, who actually has been a major part of the Super Eagles team for the past year or so.
In and out.
Yeah, in and out, but he's always been consistently called up. In more than out, he's always been consistently called up. He's never had played a game.
Hasn't pegged
started a competitive game, but he's been there and about. There's also Chima Akas. Chima Akas was actually the captain of the last Chan team that played in Rwanda under Sunday Olise, so he's there as well. Midfielders, no name that you might know except Ifeanyi was a former youth international. He is midfielder for Aqua United. And up front, the dynamic duo of MFM, that's MFM Football Club of Lagos, that's Sikiro Olasboso, and currently top scorer, that's Stephen Ode. Stephen Ode has 16 goals after 28 games. So those are the key names that you see on this list. But this list has been receiving a lot of comments, both positive and negative. So, Emmanuel, what are your own comments regarding this?
I am on the...
Is this the best, a representation of the best players on the domestic scene in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think, well, fortunately or unfortunately, I am on the positive side of it. I think that with the current bearings, I think this is a good list for us to have. I don't see too many names out of it that should be there. I think that, especially in the striking department, I think on current form, you would definitely say those guys are good to go. Sikro Latubosun, Stephen Ode, Mfom Udo. I think that, especially also when you now come to the midfielders also, I think that on current form and what's happening in the MPFL, I think I would say I am very satisfied with this list. I don't see any so much notable misses.
One of the names that's also on this list is as well as Rabiu Ali. Now, Rabiu Ali was part of the team that came third in the Chan competition that was held in 2016 in South Africa. That brilliant team that finished third. He's also a star midfielder for Kano Pillars, played there for years. He's regarded as the king of Kano, and he's also on this list as well. But Emmanuel, you are saying that this is a positive list, it's a great list.
I think so.
A lot of people have been arguing that, no, this is not a representation of the best players in the Nigeria Professional Football League, especially over the past 28 games, and arguing that a lot of these players are actually here on the basis of their reputation and of what they've done in the past, not necessarily what they've done in the past.
Agreed. I think that's a fair position. So most of them, like Chima Akas, hasn't been playing that well. Rabiu Ali, yes, we know him in the past, So I could also, I mean, admit that sentiment, but I still think that I am okay with this list. I mean, what are we expecting? How many players are really in the MPFL that are really, hitting the limelight, aside from Stephen Ode, that we've always heard about? So I wasn't expecting too much. I think that this is a fair representation.
So, fair representation, because let me just call through a few names at you.
Okay.
Suraj Ayeleso, who is the goalkeeper of Nasarawa United, one of the most consistent goalkeepers in the Nigeria Professional Football League season. Consistently been voted man of the match in, I think, at least 5 games this season as well.
Okay.
He's not on that list. Chukwuka Onua, exciting creative midfielder for MFM, absolutely brilliant player. He's not on this list as well. He's probably the king of assists as far as MFM are concerned. Pint size, but very, 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 very good. He's not on this list as well. There's also Anthony Opotu. The interesting thing about Anthony Opotu is that he's the top scorer for Lobby Stars.
Lobby Stars.
But the second top scorer in Lobby Stars was called up. So you argue, what could possibly be informing?
Well, so one funny thing that is happening right now, as you would know in the MPFL, is viewers can't. There's nothing to watch, so you would know because you're a journalist and you are in the know. So it's difficult, but on the face of it, I would say that as a coach, you always want to decide, okay, where do I want to go? You can't possibly pick every player. You can pick all of the best players. You would decide based on your own tactics, based on your own.
Requirements.
Exactly. So
for example, there are different types of strikers. There are forward wingers. There are somewhere in 9.5. Some are target men.
Exactly.
There
are some strikers who even come back to defend.
Yes.
So it would depend on what the coach is really looking towards. What kind of strategy?
And what kind of team he wants to build.
Exactly. So I don't think that Salisu Yusuf did this out of any particular sentiment. I think it was just based on what I have and based on what I want to do, and probably also based on the opponents, that we are going to compete against. Maybe this is just a good list.
Okay. Well, that's according to Emmanuel. He thinks that there's nothing wrong with this list. I'm sure a lot of people have plenty to say regarding that list. I have plenty to say as well. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but let's just leave it as it is. Match day 28 took place in the Nigeria Professional Football League over the weekend as well. It is 10 games until the end of this season's Nigeria Professional Football League. And as it stands, Plateau United seem on course to win their first ever title, unless something catastrophic happens. They have a 5-point lead at the top of the table ahead of MFM Football Club. And normally in Nigeria, towards the tail end of the season, what usually happens is you win your home games, you lose away. I don't know why that happens. But if this form remains true, then I think it's safe to say Plateau United are champions. Well, on Friday, before their game against, who did they play again? Before their weekend game against Akwa United, the state governor, Simeon Lalong, visited them and promised the team that he would finish the multi-billion naira Plateau State Stadium in Jos if they win the league, so that fans of the team in Jos can watch continental football action in a conducive atmosphere. That's a 44,000 capacity stadium that has been abandoned, uncompleted for 30 years. Interesting, it's a beautiful edifice. It's uncompleted, the stands are uncompleted, but very curiously, it has a great tartan track.
Wow.
And also has a great artificial turf, which are already deteriorating due to lack of use and wear and tear from the elements. But it's I don't know, this just goes to, I really don't know what to say, because it's just part of what is Nigerian. The stadium is not ready.
Okay.
Yet the pitch and the tartan tracks that are supposed normally to be the last things to be put in place
it's
are
set.
already set. But Plateau United, from what we've seen so far, the head and shoulders, the best team in the Nigerian Professional Football League, scored more goals than anyone, have the best defense as well. I think it's safe to say that the title is in the bag for them.
Well, I would say congratulations to, well, at least as it stands, congratulations to Plateau United. Like you said, except something catastrophic happens, they should be running away with the titles, But I think something I find very strange is, some say a month ago, we were really celebrating the MPFL for maybe being fair. We're getting to see a lot of away wins and all of that. But it's coming to the business end of the season, and suddenly away victories have suddenly disappeared. I think...
we had one. We had one this
well,
weekend.
Sunshine Stars, right?
Excellent result. Winning 4-2 away from home at ABS Football Club in Ilorin, a result which moved them, catapulted them out of the relegation zone. They are now in 15th place, 2 places clear of the relegation zone, which is a great result, considering the fact that this is a team that's been banished from their hometown in Akure, their home ground in Akure, to Ijebu, the way they currently play, due to crowd trouble in the past. So, but it's a great result for them.
Great result, but like I had earlier mentioned, I still feel that the fact that fans can't get to watch these games
on
still
TV.
throws
On TV.
It still throws all of the league, into doubt, and you're not sure what's really happening. You're just hearing results. You're not sure.
You're not sure whether the results were
the integrity
of
these results. And then now that you now get to start hearing of there are no away wins and all of that, it tells you that maybe we still want to win at all costs. Maybe there's still all of those officiating issues there.
So you're doubting the integrity of these results because of the fact that we didn't get to see it on TV.
Yes, and I think that that's a major issue, not just for the integrity of the result, but also for just the fan enjoyment. Just
how important is TV to football?
I think TV is everything, and that's even where you get the money, right? I mean, TV rights and all of those things. We still have clubs who can't afford to pay, salaries and all of those things. I think TV, number one, drives, the fan energy, so drives fan participation. Everybody now wants to sponsorship and all of that. So I think that, TV in football of today is really ultimate. If you take it to the EPL, the La Liga and all of that, I think, why in the La Liga, why is Real Madrid, Barcelona, why are they the champions? It's TV. It's
especially
TV.
in the La Liga, where Real Madrid and Barcelona account for 70% of the TV revenue.
In the EPL, it's a bit more balanced, but so TV is really a big deal. It's something that we need to get right.
Well, as it stands in the Nigeria Professional Football League, the top 4 is Plateau United on top with 51 points after 28 games. MFM Football Club have a game in hand. Their game against Rivers United didn't hold because Rivers United were away in Morocco for a CAF Confederations Cup game. More on that. Enyimba International Football Club are currently in 3rd place with 44 points after 28 games. Akwa United, having played a game less, 27 games, have 43 points and in 4th place. At the bottom of the log, Gombe United are in 17th place. Rivers United are in 18th place. Shooting Stars, darling of the Southwest, are in 19th place, deep relegation trouble. And Remo Stars are also in 20th place, the strongest team in the league, like we like to say, propping up the entire 19 teams. Interesting story about Remo Stars over the weekend. 13 players suffered food poisoning.
I was shocked when
13
I
players
saw that
suffered food poisoning
before their match.
Before their game against FC Fayumba, which meant that the game was postponed until it was played later in the week. But it's.
I was glad that the game was postponed.
Yeah,
I was glad because I was almost thinking, why is this happening? I know that I've heard of a case of food poisoning sometime in Europe. It's been
in the English Premier League. Yes, that was it happened to Arsenal. Just before it happened to Tottenham Hotspurs actually. Okay. Before the final game of, I think, was it 2004-2005 season?
So it's crazy. That's not something you want happening, and you always see there's the undertone of pointing, accusing fingers at the opposition and all of that. I don't see how that
pointing, accusing fingers.
Yeah. So, why should 8 players of an opposition team suddenly get food poisoning?
No, this is 13 players.
13 players.
13 players. But they were the home team.
Oh, they were the home team,
yes.
Oh, so that can be a bit, if they were the away team, I would easily point accusing.
I think you've been watching too many action movies. But really,
how these things happen.
Yes, well, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. No, I don't think it's that bad. How much is at stake here? If for the Nigeria Professional Football League, where the winner is supposed to get, I think, 25 million naira, how much do you expect?
Not
actually, the winner
because
doesn't get anything.
When I saw the opposition,
so imagine
they were
if,
playing FC Fayumba. Imagine there to get back into the top 4.
Yes, but imagine if the Nigeria Professional Football League, the winning prize is like 2 million naira.
please.
I don't want to think. I don't want to think of what
It will
happened.
cost a lot to get someone poisoned based on
No,
that.
I don't think. No, we won't go down that route. But hopefully, the Nigerian Professional Football League will progress unhindered and without further incidences as these teams strive to win the Nigerian title. Plateau United, it seems they might be champions come the end of the season. So let's just call them champions in waiting, as it were. We were talking about Rivers United just a few minutes ago. They were in the CAF Confederation Cup action over the weekend, Friday actually. They played FUS Rabat. They were beaten by 2-1, which eliminated them from the competition. And so, for the first time, once again, for the latter stages of CAF Club Continental Competition, there are no Nigerian club sides whatsoever. It's depressing because this season, the Confederation of African Football expanded the group phase of these two competitions. That's the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup to 16 teams. Okay. So that's 4 groups of 4 teams each, as against two groups of two teams each in the past. Okay. What this means now is that in the best 16 teams in the African continent, there's no Nigerians there.
Well, I mean,
there are Mozambican clubs there, just for you to know how bad it is.
You see, when we're discussing this offline, the question is, so is this a problem of talent or is it a problem of maybe mentality, maybe psychological? I don't know. Is it that we don't have the talent, and this is on the African stage, not
Emmanuel, let me help you out. It's everything. There's the talent is questionable, the coaching is also questionable, the quality of facilities is questionable, the preparation and professionalism of these clubs is questionable, the recruitment process is questionable, everything is questionable.
Everything is
it's not surprising. And also the funding as well for these clubs in order to prosecute these competitions properly.
Especially Rivers United have been having issues with salaries and all of that. And, even after they lost their home match, there was still that hope that, in this away match, they would have been able to salvage their whole CAF Champions League Confederations Cup career, but it looked like the script had already been written and they couldn't just do anything about it. But it's really sad for Nigeria. It's sad for MPFL because it now just makes it glaring that we are not where we're
not as good as we think we are.
Exactly.
I mean, it came clearly to the fore when a South African team made up of a lot of players who play in the Premier Soccer League in South Africa came to Nigeria and absolutely flattened the Super Eagles team that was chock full of foreign-based internationals, defeated them hands down by 2-0. It shows you that maybe the rest of Africa has probably caught up with us and left us behind.
True. There are no further comments to that. I think it's just true.
Let's talk about a Super Eagles player now who is currently fighting for his life and his career. Carl Ikeme of Wolverhampton Wanderers was recently diagnosed last week of suffering from acute leukemia. Now, acute leukemia is, from what we hear, like cancer of the blood. And if left untreated, it can spread from the bone marrow, where the white blood cells are being created. It can spread as far as his brain, his lungs, his reproductive organs. It can spread all across his body, and it can be lethal. But thankfully, we do know there's a documented case of a player who actually suffered from acute leukemia and survived. Stilian Petrov, Bulgarian international and former captain of Aston Villa. He actually had the same thing, I think, in 2005, but he survived. He survived to tell the tale. And so I think that can give Carl Ikeme some hope that he can overcome his struggles.
I mean, it was a huge blow dealt to the Nigerian Football Federation and also, football fans all across Nigeria. Carl Ikeme had brought some hope, some
stability,
to the national team, and we were beginning to say, oh, okay, as long as this guy is there, and a couple of the defenders who were in front of him, it looked like Leon Balogun, it looked like we're beginning to build, anew. But he had that injury, at some point, and then went off, and then what's his name, Daniel Akpeyi came, and we weren't impressed with that. So everyone was looking forward to Kalikeme coming back, and when there was news that he was back from injury and all of that, and all of a sudden we're hearing this. It's saddening. It's saddening. It's saddening. We're only praying that I hear that he started chemotherapy.
Yep.
We're only praying that he pulls
His club are
through.
promising that they'll give him the best medical care available.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I know that the NFF has also contacted him.
Oh, everybody has contacted him. Goalkeepers, David De Gea, Andre Ter Stegen, Super Eagles players all across the world. Everybody are throwing in support for Carl Ikeme at the moment.
Fair play to everyone who has. I mean, football is more than a game. It's life. And, we just hope that he pulls through, and he might not be. Or we already hear he might have to end his football career. But he'll be nice to have him back.
That would be asking quite a lot, but nothing is impossible. From here at Wednesday Night Football, we'd like to say, give our our deepest condolences to the family of Carl Ikeme, everything he's suffering now. We hope that he overcomes it and wish him the speediest recovery possible. Finally, on this half of the show, let's quickly talk about a certain Nigerian player who might be moving from Manchester City. Kelechi Iheanacho, we hear, is the subject of a £25 million bid, a bid from Leicester City that might rise as much as £25 million. We hear that everything is more or less agreed. The player himself also wants to come. Just a few contractual issues for him to sort out. He has to sort out something with his former agent, but he himself is willing to come. Also, Manchester City intend to put a buyback clause in the contract as well. So Kelechi Iheanacho might be swapping sky blue for navy blue in quite a few.
Well, I mean, I think it's only fair for him. Fantastic player he is, and he hasn't been getting a lot of playing time in Manchester City. Well, I think since,
especially with the arrival of Gabriel Jesus.
Exactly. But funny thing is, even when Gabriel Jesus now eventually got injured and went out,
still wasn't called.
Exactly. So he already looked like the end of the road for him. So it's only a win-win situation for both parties for him to leave. But I have an issue with, I mean, I at first said he wanted to go to West Ham, and then maybe Leicester City is a bit better than West Ham, but I think that, isn't this still a demotion for Kelechi Iheanacho? There was a time it was touted that Borussia Dortmund, was actually bidding for him. So
that was rumor. They never officially lodged.
I would have loved for him to go to Borussia Dortmund than going to Leicester City. But I mean, what can you say? He might want to stay in the EPL.
He wants to stay in England. It's a country that he knows well, a language that he's familiar with, a weather that he's also familiar with as well, a league that he's also familiar with as well. It might prove to be a risk to go to another club in another country. And still talking about the Nigerian theme, three Nigerian internationals, have recently moved from different parts of the world to the Turkish Super League. Now, you know that the Turkish Super League used to have plenty of attention from Nigeria in the past because of the exploits of Austin JJ Okocha and the former man-mountain of the Nigerian Super Eagles defense. That's Uche Okechukwu, who did great things in that league. So three of them are moving there right now. Elderson Echijile, who is going on his third loan spell ever since he joined Monaco. He has now moved to newly promoted Sivasspor. There's also William Troost Ekong, who has left Ghent in the Belgian Super League. He has joined Bursaspor as well. And there's also Imo Ezekiel, who has left Al Arabi in the Qatari League and has moved to Konyaspor. You might not remember Imo Ezekiel, but Imo Ezekiel actually played at the Olympic Games with Nigeria, where they finished with a bronze medal. That was at the 2014 Olympic Games. Was a pint-sized winger who did pretty well. So interesting move for these Nigerians, Emmanuel.
Well,
as three are coming in, one is leaving. Emmanuel Emenike has left Fenerbahce, moved to Olympiacos. So, what do you think of the move?
Well, if it then means that they're able to get regular playing time, if it means that, because I think that's what we've always clamored for Nigerian players. Most of them, even for those who are in the good clubs, say take Kelechi Iheanacho as a case in point. They don't get to see regular team football. Mikel Obi in Chelsea, at least just before he left, or maybe all of his career in Chelsea, he wasn't playing regularly. So I would only say a good move for them if it turns out that they tend to get regular football. But then there's also the thing about the Turkish league itself.
Yes,
you
I was
know.
about to mention that the Turkish Super League has been indicted before by FIFA and UEFA as a lot of clubs increasingly do not respect contractual obligations to players. Only the top 3 teams, the likes of Besiktas, Galatasaray, and Fenerbahce, really do respect their contracts. But the rest, the hear players not being paid salaries. In fact, as a case in point, Super Eagles assistant captain Ogenyo Nazi was not paid for the last 2 months of the season with his club, Trabzonspor, which led him to file a breach of contract claim against Trabzonspor. According to him, he said there was a clause in his contract that entitled him to leave if his salaries remain unpaid for 2 months. But I think they resolved that and he's back at the club. So, but there's the possibility that these players too might experience the same thing.
Well, I think
I've consistently mentioned that, and there's always been for so long an insinuation that there's match fixing rife in Turkish football. So is this the kind of clubs, the kind of leagues that these players should be looking at moving to?
Well, I think first thing is for Nigerian players, maybe it won't be a bit of a culture shock. If you're coming from the MPFL, you understand that not paying salary is like a normal thing. Even for normal workers, you don't get your salary paid maybe until like 15th of the following month. So I don't. Yeah.
You are lucky. Some people haven't been paid in 7 months in Nigeria.
Exactly.
And they're not asking these people to forfeit those
can you imagine?
Those salaries in order to move the state forward.
It's that bad. So I don't think it would be such a, maybe that's why they really don't mind making that move or taking that risk if it means that it might ultimately help their football. I've always heard that for Nigerian players now in the MPFL that they kind of like accommodate some of this issues of not payment and all of that because all they're interested in is plying their trade and maybe with the hope of moving abroad. So, for even these guys who are already abroad, if it means that they can get to play regularly, showcase their talent, and maybe from there move on to, greener pastures, maybe that's why they're taking the chances. But I think that it's a big risk to take, at the level they are right now, because they are no longer young players. They are not trying to prove anything.
Is 29.
Exactly.
The really young ones are True Second, who's 23, and then Ezekiel, who's also 23 as well. Yeah.
So right now they are looking forward to, and don't forget, we're getting into a World Cup year. Everybody needs to be up and doing right now to be considered.
These players also have families who depend on them to ensure that money is available.
Unfortunately.
So in other words, it's a risk.
It's a risk, a big risk.
Okay, just wanted to establish that. So let's talk about one man who hasn't taken a risk, a man who has actually, from what we hear, come into a fortune. 24-year-old, 6'3", one of the best strikers in world football, going by his records. He's one of 5 players to have scored 50 Premier League goals before his 23rd birthday. He's only the first foreign player to have scored 80 Premier League goals before his 24th birthday. He has recently signed for Manchester United for £75 million. He might be earning as much as £200,000 a week. There can only be one person who's done that recently. That's Romelu Lukaku. Fantastic move for the young man. Going to a club that it was an interesting move because no one saw this thing coming.
Exactly.
Manchester United had given everyone the impression that they were after Alvaro Morata, but after securing the signing of Romelu Lukaku, they will end any kind of discussion relating to Alvaro Morata. Leaving Chelsea high and dry. Chelsea are particularly displeased about that. Definitely. Because everybody thought that Lukaku was moving to Chelsea. But according to the player, in an interview after revealing that, after Manchester United unveiled him, he said he had already made up his mind where he was going. And he's now a Red Devil, hoping to follow in the glorious footsteps of the likes of George Best, Robin Van Persie, Ruud van Nistelrooy,
fantastic for
Wayne Rooney, and countless others.
Fantastic for him. But like you said, it's two things quickly. Chelsea might also get beaten twice we hear that Man United are also looking at Timu Bakayoko.
Bakayoko.
So hopefully that doesn't happen. It would be a slap on Chelsea, you know. But then also for Romelu Lukaku, he proved himself last season. He's been consistent in the Premier League as one of the top.
Consistently hits double figures for the past 5 seasons.
As one of the best goal scorers. So good for him. But then, I mean, it seemed odd. Jose Mourinho was the same person who sent him packing from Chelsea.
Okay. According to the player, he said he was the one who went to Mourinho and asked to leave. Yes.
Why would he do that?
He went to Mourinho and asked to leave because they couldn't guarantee him a first team shirt, which he already had taken as a given in Anderlecht, and if he wasn't getting enough support and he wanted to leave, which Mourinho agreed to. And according to him, the moment he landed in Everton and was unveiled, the very first congratulatory text he got was from Jose Mourinho. So there's no hard feelings, no bad blood between both of them. And he feels that Mourinho is the man who can improve his game and take him to the next level, and where he can probably figure in the running for probably World Footballer of the Year.
Doesn't that also tell you something about Mourinho? Mourinho was the same person who sold Juan Mata and went back to meet him there. Sold what's his name? Lukaku. He's bringing him back now. Who knows, maybe Mourinho has had this all planned up a long time ago. You don't want to trust that man.
No. That would be ascribing.
That's why he's the special one.
That would be ascribing the evil genius mentality to Jose Mourinho. But good move. You think?
Good move.
Good move. He's a man who can actually feel illustrious boots.
I don't know. Lukaku, for all how he's been good and all of that, and fantastic. Goal poacher, you might call him. But in a club like Manchester United, I don't know if he has the stature. I don't know if he has, the charisma. I don't know if he has, what it takes. It might just be like another David Moyes, in Manchester United.
You think?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
This is a player who has consistently scored double figures over the past 5 seasons.
But doing it for Everton.
lesser clubs and West
Exactly,
Brom,
it's not the same thing.
Doesn't that suggest that if you move to a club where there are better quality of players, better quality of service, that you might
not the same kind of play?
Yes, but that's why you're a professional footballer. You're expected to adapt. But it doesn't necessarily always work out that way. We saw Christian Benteke struggle at Liverpool.
Exactly. That's a case in point.
There are two different kind of players. Benteke is what people
Lukaku would thrive a lot in Liverpool. He would thrive in Liverpool because he's the kind of striker.
And you think he can
Lukaku thrive? I don't think they have the same style of play. Lukaku would thrive in Liverpool. Lukaku is something closer to Daniel Sturridge, He's got the movement, the pace, and all of that. So, but in Manchester United, just because it is Manchester United, that's why I'm not really sure if... See, a player like Pogba can go to Manchester United. It's a player like Zlatan can go to Manchester United, and he wouldn't feel under any pressure. But bringing a Romelu Lukaku from Everton, if he had gone from Chelsea to Manchester United, then maybe, yeah. But from Everton...
So you think it's pressure?
Definitely.
This is a boy who has been playing in the UEFA Champions League at the age of 19. So why would he feel pressure at the age of 24, having had a career that has seen him score over 100 goals for clubs in 2 different countries?
We can only wait to see, but I just think that it's a big chance for him to really, this is the time where it's like a make or mar time for him. He needs to say, hey, if I'm going to ever be an elite player, if I'm going to ever be, one of the biggest footballers in the world, this is the time. But can he do it? He's definitely got the talent.
Question. Is it a good move for Lukaku?
Definitely.
Is it a good move for Manchester United?
That's really
Okay. Well, Emmanuel is not convinced about that. But another player who has moved from, made a big move to a big English club has to be Anthony Lacazette. There's been so much talk about that. One of the memes we've been hearing on social media is the fact that a lot of clubs are downloading, a lot of people are downloading players now, or buying CDs that Arsenal bought a cassette. That's really below the belt. But Alexander Lacazette, a player who's scored plenty of goals in the French league.
That's a proven elite goal scorer.
Yeah. But now the question is, you are coming to a club that has Olivier Giroud. Olivier Giroud,
who has been benching you in the national
team. Olivier Giroud receives no love from Arsenal fans. 9 out of 10 Arsenal fans do not like Olivier Giroud, but he has consistently delivered when it mattered most.
Exactly.
Consistently got in double figures for the club. And now you are bringing in the man who can't even drop in the scheme of things in the national team. It's a very interesting situation.
I don't
if
know
you're Olivier Giroud, what do you start feeling now? This is the man that they want to come and replace you. A man that cannot even dislodge you from your national team.
So it brings us back to the question of national team and coaches, whether national team or clubs. Everybody's got their own philosophy. Everybody's got their own style. So it's not really a slap on the face of any player if a coach doesn't pick you. It doesn't mean you're bad. It's just if a Daniel Sturridge was fit and a Roberto Firmino was fit, if a Daniel Sturridge was firing on all cylinders, I bet you Jurgen Klopp will still pick Roberto Firmino.
What if Roberto Firmino was also firing on all cylinders?
Point is, Roberto Firmino already suits Klopp's demands, which Daniel Sturridge doesn't have for all of his brilliance.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that a coach has his preference. So I think that for the national team, Olivier Giroud is a preference for the national team coach of France, while in Arsenal, definitely Olivier Giroud doesn't seem to. I don't know I think the coach still likes him, but maybe it's the fans that really don't like his style of play. But I think that guy has delivered consistently. It's just sometimes you just don't like a player. Maybe you just don't like how he looks or how he plays.
How he looks?
Yes.
Olivier Giroud is an exceedingly handsome gentleman.
No, what I mean is, for instance, some people just don't like Pogba. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter how many assists or goals. They just feel that, look, this guy I just don't like him.
Maybe it's dabbing.
Exactly. You understand? So I think that's it. But for Olivier Giroud, I think, and also for Alexander Lacazette, I think this is the time for them to prove who's better among the two of them. Now you're not only in the same national team, you're also in the same club. So it's really, but then again, there's still who does he use? Does Arsenal play two-man strike?
No, they don't.
They don't. So it's still down to the
4-2-3-1.
It's still down to Arsene Wenger to decide, how he wants his team to play and who would suit. But definitely, it's a big pointer for him to have brought in Alexander Lacazette. It's a big pointer to how he wants to play going forward, and maybe he might have a damning effect on Olivier Giroud.
Let's look at Everton as well. They've brought in former child star Wayne Rooney. 13 years after they sold him to Manchester United for £27 million, we hear he has probably arrived on an undisclosed fee. Some said it's probably free transfer. But at the age of 31, going back to the club where he made his name as a young, precocious teenager, is this a gamble on the part of Rooney? Or is it? But it's definitely not a gamble on the part of Everton because they're getting him for free.
Yeah.
He'll sell plenty of shirts. But for Rooney himself, in the past 2 seasons, he hasn't been a regular goal scorer. The season before, he scored 8 goals. Last season, he scored 5. His powers are definitely winning. But does he have one last hurrah in him? I
don't think so. I think it's just a grand homecoming for the Everton lad. I think he's done pretty well in Manchester United. Take nothing away from it. Rooney is Manchester United. Rooney is a Manchester United legend. Take nothing away from it. Whether goals, whether assists, and all of that. I think Rooney is in the caliber of the Beckham, of the Cantona.
559 appearances, 256 goals.
I think he's definitely up there among the Manchester United greats. But coming to Everton, I don't think he's coming to had anything, maybe experience, maybe inspiration for the young lads and all of that. But I don't think that Everton is bringing him so that they can push for the title, so that they can get top 4. I don't think they're doing any of that. It's just one.
You think it's a sentimental move?
I think so.
It's not a footballing move.
I think so.
In the high stakes game of football now, you think people will actually make decisions like that based on sentiment?
In this case, I am tempted to think so. Look at Dani Alves. Dani Alves, when he was leaving Barcelona, they would have thought that they were letting go of maybe a dying mole or a
faded player.
Exactly, but he's proved everyone wrong. He's even getting, like a fine wine.
He might be moving to Manchester City.
Exactly. So for Dani Alves, I mean, he's proving it that, look, it's actually as if I am getting better. Same thing for a player like Marcelo, of Real Madrid. Looks like the older he gets, the better he gets. So for this kind of player, if you were getting him, I would say you're trying to get an upgrade on whatever you have there. But for Wayne Rooney, I don't think Everton, took him on because of an ambition. That's really my concern. I don't think it's because of an ambition. It's not because they really want to, they're not bringing him so that he can be the assist king or the goal scorer now that Romelu Lukaku is gone. I think it's just, look, he's our guy, he's going to sell shirts, he's going to increase the profile, so many more fans will come back, and all of that. But I just don't think it's a footballing reason. Yeah.
Very damning indictments on the part of Emmanuel. He's definitely not for that move anyway. But it's been a very entertaining edition of Wednesday Night Football. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Emmanuel, for stepping into the breach. Yeah. And thank you for watching Wednesday Night Football. We'll make a return same time next week. My name is Tunde Koiki. Saying bye-bye.